All right, guys. Today I'm going to do an updated Edison format tier list. This is July 2024, so we're about a week and a half away from the Ultimate Time Wizard tournament in Austin, Texas, during the North American World Championship qualifier. And I've seen quite a few people make these lists, so I wanted to give my take. Now, I made one more than a year ago, but after a year of playing Edison, definitely some decks have gone up and down. So I'm gonna rank all these decks on this particular, unless I don't really know much of the deck. Like there's some decks like this deck, this zombie deck, and this plant deck I really don't know much about, but we'll see. So I'm just going order where they appear. So we're gonna start off with X Saber. So I'm gonna go over the tiers real quick, how I view it. I only did 4 tiers: S, A, B, and C. So the S tier is the decks that I would feel comfortable entering an Ultimate Time Wizard tournament, or if I'm traveling, because I like that the RBT online is a little bit different, because I don't have to spend money. There's not as much pressure in those. But like an Ultimate Time Wizard, especially if I'm traveling, like when I went to Indy or Vegas, I really want to do well. So those are the decks I would feel strongly if I were to enter a big like in-person RBET or a Ultimate Time Wizard. A is a deck that I feel I could see myself playing in one of those events, but I'm not as like super confident as the S tiers. And the B tiers are decks that I probably like I think I could win locals with, but I probably wouldn't take to an Ultimate Time Wizard RBT. And then C is like just the decks I don't think are very good. Like I think I would struggle to even win locals with it. All right, so we'll start off with X Sabers, and we're gonna place X Sabers in the C tier. I think it would be really hard for me to even win locals with this deck. They're just missing too many cards. Dark Soul, Bogart Knight. If at least had Bogart Knight, I think it would help a little bit. So yeah, that deck, I don't even think I can win locals with it, so it goes in the C tier. Next up is Diva Frogs. This is actually a deck I actually wanted to try out. Maybe after Nats I'll mess around with this deck, but I can't put it. I think it's a good deck. Like I could win locals with this deck, but I don't know if I can place it higher than B tier. I can't throw it an A just because I haven't tested it enough. I don't know if I'd have to test it to then maybe consider taking it. But for now, I'm just going to keep it in the B tier. And what is this? Gadgetron, I guess this is a Gear Town deck. Pure Gear Town. Machina Gear Town. I'm going to just throw this in the C tier. I've never been a fan of Gear Town decks. Like, I know there's the Kuraz field control deck, but just pure Gear Towns? No, C tier. I would struggle to win locals with this deck. Volcanic Quick Draw. We saw the Sheriff Los has been playing this deck recently, and he hasn't won with it so he hasn't been winning locals with it. Could I think he can do it? Yes. So that means I think I can also do it as well. So, but I don't like I can't put this one in A tier. I would never take this deck to a big event. So that's in the B tier. Chain Burn. I can't throw it in C tier because this is a deck that if people don't know how to play against, it can steal a lot of wins, and there's nothing aside for it. So I'm gonna have to throw this one. This is like a sneak attack. But I think I'm going to throw it in C tier because if people start to learn how to play against it, then yeah, this deck goes downhill. So that's, we'll put that one in C tier. Next up is Diva Hero. Okay, Diva Hero, I put this one in B tier. I think it's a solid deck. Could I win locals with it? Yeah, I think I did win a locals with it when I first got into Edison. This is one of the first decks I played. And I did win locals with it, but I'm not... Like, I don't think I would take this to the Ultimate Time Wizard. It's a very, like, I call it like a glass cannon deck, where it has, like, a big push. Unless if you're playing the more trap version of the deck, but even then, the other Frog Hero, like, the Frog Hero is just better. Yeah, just not a big fan of this deck, so I'll put it in the B tier. Next up is, I believe this is Pure Fairies. I think I could win the locals with this, but I would not take it to a big event, so that's why this one goes into the B tier. All right, next up is Hero Beat. Is this Diva Hero Beat or just pure Hero Beat? Is there a... Okay, there's a Diva Hero Beat variant. So this is a pure Hero Beat stun. I actually have tried this deck and I wasn't a big fan. I think it just needs Diva. It gives it that extra... Miracle's not good in this deck, so it doesn't have any extenders. So yeah, this is a B tier deck. I don't think I've won locals with a pure Hero Beat deck. But I did play it like once or twice and I wasn't a big fan, so I'll put that one on. Could I win with it? Sure, but it's in the B tier. Next up is Dragon Turbo. So this is the hardest one to rank. I have to put it A tier. Like, I want to put it in S tier, but the problem is it just bricks often. I've seen many people, myself included, brick with this deck. And If it was just slightly more consistent, it would be an S tier deck. But just, it loses to itself. So that's why I wouldn't feel as confident. If like I could see myself playing this deck at a big event down the road, but I wouldn't feel as confident as some of the others. So I put this one in A tier. Next up is a Dark Gaia Hero deck. I've never played this deck, but I've seen people at my locals play it, and it looks okay. I think I would put it in the B tier. Yeah, I'll put this one in the B tier just because I think it's a solid deck. Like, summon this evil hero Dark Gaia, and it runs like Fossil Dyna in the main deck and a few other good cards. So yeah, I'll definitely put this one. I could see someone winning locals with it, so I will put it in the B tier. Okay, next up is Diva Zombies. Now, do I prefer... I don't know about this one. I know Instant Zombies is down there, but how do I feel about Diva Zombies? Could I see myself playing a zombie deck at an Ultimate Time Wizard? That's what it really comes to. It's not an S tier. It's either A or B. I could see myself playing a zombie deck down the road. And this deck can be explosive. It has Book of Life. It has a good value matchup. So I would put this one in A tier. Yeah. Yeah, this deck can be pretty good, so I'll put it in A tier. All right, next up is Lightsworn, Pure Lightsworn. See, I could never play this deck at a big event. That's why I can't put it in A tier. I'm gonna have to put. I know that some people are gonna probably call me crazy, but this is just. I don't know. I don't like Pure Lightsworn. I would never see myself playing it. Could I win locals with it? Sure, but I just could not feel like S tier is like I would feel super confident and at a Time Wizard tournament versus A tier is more so like I would have some small doubts. Like with Dragon Turbo, just because of the breaking, and Diva Zombie, just because I feel like the deck's missing a little extra. I don't know, maybe consistency or something. But yeah, Lightsworn I put in the B tier. Fish deck, I don't know much about this deck. I've never played against it. I haven't really seen. The only thing I know is James Ark got second place in an Ultimate Time Wizard tournament. Now, was that mostly him or was it the deck? I don't know. But me, I think it will take a really great player who knows how to pilot this deck well to do well. So I would say it has potential B tier, but not... Like, I could maybe see it winning locals. I think I remember when I first got into Edison, my friend Scott Page maybe won or got second twice with this deck on my locals. So I put this one in B tier. Next up, Frog Heroes. Obviously, this is S tier. I won the Ultimate Time Wizard tournament in 2023 in Indy with this deck. So obviously, I ran it at the 3v3 in Vegas, so I feel strongly confident with this deck, so S tier. Next up is Pure Black Wings. This is also... Actually... Now I believe it's S tier, just because like when this deck draws Whirlwind, especially game one, when people were like, "There's only one heavy, one MST, not many cards to deal with Black Whirlwind," and it has Dark Armed. Sometimes they just swarm, they just do a lot of early damage. So yeah, this is a S tier deck. It's won plenty of tournaments. Same thing with Frog Hero. So yeah, this is definitely S tier. Flame Bell Zombies. Is this B or C? I think this is actually an interesting deck. I seen my friend Lewis play this at locals, so could I see this deck winning locals? Yeah. I want to put it in the C tier, but I think it has some... Rekindling's good. It has a lot of extenders, so yeah, I would put this deck in the B tier. I kind of want to play this deck for fun, so yeah. B tier. Next up is like the Dragon Control, Trap Dragon deck, Disaster Dragon, whatever people want to call it. I've seen this deck do well. But I personally, myself, don't like it. But I have seen people have success with it, so I'll throw it in the B tier. And yeah, I'm not gonna rank any of these decks. This is just like, just the tiers. I don't know which one is better in the tiers. Maybe I'll do it for like the S and A. But there's just way too many in B. The video will take too long. Next up, this one's interesting. GBs. So I've seen one of my best friends, Javier, do really well with this deck. He's won a few locals, made the finals. He's on a hot streak right now in my locals. He top 8 at a 61-man Edison tournament. We saw it get 4th place at YCS Indy Ultimate Time Wizard in 2024. So how do I feel about GBs? It's not an S tier, in my opinion. It's either A or B. Now, again, this is my opinion. Would I ever sleeve up this deck? I personally would never. I wouldn't. This is B tier for me. I can't put it A. Yeah, I don't see myself playing this deck. Gadgets. Actually, I do like this deck, but the issue with this deck, I say this before, I feel it gets caught in the crossfire because everyone's citing Rug because of frogs, and a lot of people have Cyber Dragon in their side deck, so a lot of those cards hurt Gadgets, and Fortress is just not that great of a card. It just loses to every trap card, so I put this one in B tier. Next up, Pure Flamebell. I don't even think I could win locals with this deck. I like the Flamebell Zombies because it kind of combines kind of the zombie engine really helps it, whereas the spy engine I'm just not a big fan of, so I'm gonna put this one in C tier. Next up, Amaryllis. This is A tier deck. Like, I've been really wanting to play this deck. Just it's double Lone Fire, triple Miracle Fur, DDR, Hidden Armory. I think this deck is solid. It's been doing well in Ultimate Time Wizards and RBT, so yeah, definitely A tier for me. I'm a huge fan of this deck, but not an S tier. Just because sometimes it could draw a little clunky, too many Titanials, too many Amaryllises in your hand with no trade-ins. All right, so that's A tier. Next up, Quick Draw. This one is B tier. I don't think I could play this at an Ultimate Time Wizard deck, but I've seen people win local. I think Los is the only one who's won locals. Bob did too. Yeah, so I would say this is a B tier deck. Next up, Value Turbo. Obviously, this is S tier. I mean, I got second place with it in YCS Indy 2024 a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah, it's just a solid deck. It's pretty. I think out of these three, I feel like Frog Heroes is the least consistent out of these three. Between Value and Blackwings, I don't know which one's more consistent. They're sometimes Blackwings can draw too many like Boras and like I don't know. I don't know which deck's more consistent between Value and Blackwings, but yeah, this is definitely an S tier deck. I would feel strongly playing this deck at a big event down the road. Okay, GKs. This is a deck I've won locals with. And I won one local with it. I made the finals actually twice, so I do like this deck. But I think it's missing something. It's missing Recruiter. Obviously, if it gets Recruiter, then this deck is S tier. So I'll put it in B tier for now. I don't think I would have the confidence to play this at a big event. So this is B tier. Cat decks. I don't know about cat decks. I could see this is also B tier. I could see myself winning a locals with it, but I would not sleeve it up. Like, I can't put it in A tier where I would sleeve it up for a big event. So this one's in B. Next up, this one's interesting. Hybrid Blackwings. How do I feel about this deck? This is actually the most interesting one so far. I have played this deck. This is either S or A. Do I think this deck belongs with the Pure Value or the Pure Blackwings? I actually could see myself. I'm gonna have to throw this one in S tier. I think with the right build, the right ratios, I think this deck could be really good. So yeah, I would put that one in S tier. All right, next up is Kura. I guess this is the KFC deck. I actually saw someone win a Winamat side event at my regionals with this one, so I will throw this one in B tier. Yeah, this is a B tier deck. But would I sleeve it up for a big event? No. All right, next up is Junk Frogs. I've also played this deck. This is like one of the first Frog decks I played. I played Frog Heroes and I switched over to this one. And this one's okay. It's kind of the same thing with Diva Frogs, but is this one better? Then, yeah, is this one better? But I feel like these decks, the Diva Frog and the Junk deck are similar, but they don't have the extender in Miracle Fusion, so that's why I have to put these in the B tier. They just have they have too many normal summons, and no extender like Miracle. Maybe they play Miracle in the Junk and the Diva Frog deck, but no. Yeah, these are definitely B tier decks. All right, next up is Diva Hero Beat. I'm gonna have to put this one in A tier. I was this close from playing this deck at YCS Indy in 2024. I think the deck is. The only flaw with this deck, I think, is that sometimes you brick. The deck is very combo heavy. Like, you need Alias with Spark, you need Alias with Honest. Sometimes your Miracles are dead, but when it does what it's supposed to do, it's a pretty solid deck. I've done well. I've won numerous. I think I might have won the most locals with this deck more than any other deck. And we've seen people do well with it, but it just hasn't won. But it's topped a few in real life events. So I like it. It has a good Blackwing matchup, obviously. The Value matchup is okay. Frog matchup, I would say Frogs is favored, but overall, it's I think a solid deck, so I would put it in A tier. Christia Sworn. This is an A tier deck, and I like Christia Sworn more than Pure Lights one just because it has more boss monsters. People call this a casino deck, but man, like the matchups where Christie is good, it just like 3 Christie is so unfair in certain matchups. So yeah, I really like this deck. Herald of Orange Light is an insane card. It's like another. There's not really any hand traps in Edison. Christie Sworn has it, so yeah, I'll put this deck in A tier. I like it. I actually want to play it myself. Like I could see myself playing this deck at a big event. So this is A tier. Next up is Machina Turbo. Do I put this one in S tier? No, I do think it's solid. Again, this is another deck I could see myself playing. Some people call it Machina Control, but I'm going to keep calling it Machina Turbo. I think it's solid. I've only tried it once, but I've seen so many people do well with this deck. It's just a consistent deck. 3 Gear Frame, Pot of Avarice, Fortress, Hamster Raikou. So yeah, this is just a solid deck. A tier. Next up, Instant Zombies. This is another deck that I really want to try. I would put this one in A tier. I've seen it be explosive. Seen a couple people in my locals try this deck, and yeah, it's solid. What I feel like I could see myself playing this deck at a big event, but I wouldn't feel as confident as, Vayu, Black Wings, Hero Frogs, or Hybrid Black Wings. But maybe with the right, a lot of these A tier decks are like, if I can maybe tweak them up a bit, maybe that's what it comes down to. So yeah, definitely A tier for Instant Zombies. All right, these last 3. There's Gouki Zombie deck. I'm just gonna scroll through this. I don't know this deck. Just gonna throw it in C tier. Same thing with this. What is this? Plant Zombies, I think. Yeah, I don't know much about this deck. I don't even know what this is, so we're going to put this at the bottom. And this Gemini deck, I've seen my friend Jonathan and a few other people play it at my locals. Do I think I could win with this deck? That's the question. Do I think I could win with this Gemini plant deck? It'd have to be a small local. I don't think I could put this deck with these others. No, this one has to be C tier. So yeah, okay, now... So we have how many in the C tier? 3, 6, 7 decks in the C tier. In the B tier, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And the A tier, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 4 in the S tier. So I'll rank the A tier and the S tier because there's not as many decks, just to make this video. Okay, we'll start with the A tier. So out of these 7, which do I think is the best deck? I would say Dragon Turbo. Dragon Turbo is the best deck out of all these. Second, I would say Machina Turbo would be second. Amaryllis would be third. Fourth would be... Damn, this is tough. Zombies. I would put Diva Hero B because I've had so much success with it. I even topped a big tournament with this one. I made top 8, so yeah, Diva Hero beat. And then Zombie, I think Christie Sworn is a lot of it's luck based, so this one's gonna be last, I think, in the A tier. So it's either Instant Zombies or Diva Zombies. I like the Instant Zombies more just because they have, like, Instant Fusion can be really good, so I'm gonna give the edge to Instant Zombies. Can I move it? No. There it is. There. Okay, so now the S tier. How do I rank these? This one's tough. I put Vayu as the best. And then second is either Frog Hero or Black Wings. I'm going to go Black Wings second or Frog Hero. I'll go Black Wings second, Frog Hero third, and Hybrid fourth. Yeah, so the way it is right here. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was about time I made a tier list. It's been a year, so yeah. And good luck to everyone going to Nats. I'll be there, and a lot of people from my area will be there. Lowe's, Javi, a lot of people you guys see on my channel will be there. So if you see us, come say hi, and I'll see you guys next time.